Chelsea and the fact that they don't want Jadon Sancho. How has this situation come about?
Yeah, well, obviously, Jadon Sancho was a key player for Chelsea last season. 31 appearances in the Premier League, 7 goals and assists, and he was on loan from Manchester United. But there was an obligation inserted into that contract that Chelsea could activate for £25 million. There was no loan fee, crucially, for Jadon Sancho going to Chelsea. But Chelsea are paying Manchester United £5 million not to buy Jadon Sancho. And I can see the way you're looking at me there, Mike. You're going, well, hang on a second, what's going on there? Quite simply, Jadon Sancho's representative spoke to Chelsea about potentially joining permanently, but because Manchester United were paying around 50% of his wages to play for Chelsea, he had to fit in to their wage structure, which would have potentially meant him taking a rather hefty pay cut to sign permanently for Chelsea. So therefore, they couldn't find some common ground with regards to that deal. So Chelsea said, thanks very much. We'll pay the penalty in the contract and we're going to be sending you back to Manchester United. Now, this is a player that has a lot of interest from around Europe and crucially started the big games at the end of the season and, of course, the Europa Conference League final. So no question he's got quality and ability, but wage is the stumbling block. And Chelsea just said, on this occasion, we're going to send you.
Mark's bigging him up, James. But did he do enough at Chelsea to have a lot of options now?
Well, I think there were really promising signs at stages at the very beginning and right at the very end with that goal against Real Betis last week in the Conference League, which just showed what he can do and what we were used to seeing at Borussia Dortmund. It's something we've not seen a huge amount from Jadon Sancho in the Premier League, either at Chelsea or at Manchester United. But Enzo Maresca was full of praise for him when he spoke about him in the final few weeks of the season, saying that if we qualify for the Champions League, then it's because of Jadon Sancho. If we win the Conference League, it's because of Jadon Sancho. I think there was a huge amount of credit which he built up there. And as Mark's saying there, I don't think it's a case of Chelsea not willing to spend the £25 million fee. It was more about they couldn't get him to fit within the wage structure. The question you'd have is, were there conversations that took place at the start of last season when this deal was agreed? Because at that point, if Chelsea were to sign him permanently, then that conversation you'd think would have already happened about the fact is, listen, you're on this amount of money now, but if you do sign permanently, you're going to have to take a huge wage cut from what you're on at Manchester United. So I think, as far as United are concerned, there'll be immense frustration because I think at the start of last season they felt that they were able to close a really disappointing chapter with Jadon Sancho. But now this summer they're going to have to try to find a way to get him out of the football club. Perhaps there's a way in which he's integrated under Ruben Amorim, who's not had a chance to work with him, who has no relationship with him whatsoever. Perhaps there is that case. It seems unlikely. I think the preference from all parties, including Jadon Sancho, would be a clean break now. There is still 1 year left on that contract. Let's bear in mind how much money Manchester United have paid